Sorry about that. Having some technical difficulties because I wasn't paying attention like I should have been, including to stuff. Where was I? Ignore all of that. Sorry about that. Okay. Here we are. So, Fountain of Comfort. We had our board meeting recently, and it's been almost 2 years since we founded Fountain of Comfort. While the postings haven't been exactly regular, I have been doing about one stream a month or so. I think I am going to try to bring that number up. It is possible that Gage, who is one of our board members and who recently graduated with his Master's of Social Work and is working as the Connecticut equivalent to an ACSW here in California, whatever that is. They have a different letter combination for it. He has a young child, and he's just starting out in the work world. But I'm hoping, and it might be possible, that we might do a regular stream. So we have been able, thanks to a lot of people, some of whom I actually couldn't name, who have donated. We have raised about $5,000. Well, a little bit over $5,000. And so we have started discussing what we're going to do with that, since it's now an amount of money that's worth considering spending. None of that has gone to administration. Many of you have, when you donated, you decided to include the PayPal fees, which is the only fee that that so far the administrative fee we've paid is the PayPal transaction fee. I pay for the website. I paid for all the paperwork, all of that stuff myself. Maybe one day I will start asking for the administrative stuff back, but first I want to put people's money to good use. And frankly, I have not been taking and using the money for stuff that I could reasonably claim to. So while doing therapy requires a license, doing counseling, whatever that means, does not necessarily, and doing coaching definitely doesn't. And frankly, unfortunately, one of the things that I've been very unhappy about is that there is no good legal definition which distinguishes between those three things adequately, I believe. And yeah, I don't feel comfortable taking people's money for the type of counseling that and coaching that I have been doing, although other people apparently have no problem with this. And maybe I shouldn't either, but that's a whole other discussion. What I would love if people would comment is, we have had some guests. I am trying to get more guests on to discuss mental health and spirituality. If you know of anyone who might be a good guest, we are trying to stick to people who are mental health professionals. I had Dr. Rossi, who is the counselor at St. Vladimir's seminary. There's, people have suggested other people, and I have been reaching out to other people to have on guests to discuss. Gage, if Gage and I can have discussions, that might be a great thing to do. We have considered, and if people would like to, yeah, I don't think it's a possibility for to do an interview with Jordan Peterson. That would be nice, but if you know anyone who can ask Jordan Peterson, frankly, I'm not sure it would be a good use of his time, but that's not going to happen. Yeah. Well, I mean, in a very real sense, I do think we're talking about the most important things. Yosef, who is one of our board members, is going to be one of the speakers at Southwestuary, and we are thinking about. There's no plans whatsoever to, like, no firm plans, but we are thinking about if we wanted to have a Fountain of Comfort conference and who the types of people are who would be involved in that. So Dr. Gary actually passed away, and the first really Fountain of Comfort type thing, you can see the video on our website. It's on Paul's channel, Paul Vanderklay's channel. From Chino, we had a panel which Civilla King, who might actually be the best person to have as one of the speakers or moderator at a Fountain of Comfort conference, should we choose to do one. I would have to see if when and where she would be able or willing to do that. She hasn't been doing much from her channel that I've seen in a while. I haven't seen any videos from her in a long time. I'm not sure what she's up to exactly. But Ken from Climbing Mount Sophia was moderating that panel. I think he did an excellent job. John Van Donk was on that panel. Rabbi Twersky passed away a few years ago. Yes, and he was a very, very famous and very beloved psychiatrist. And yes, he was from a Hasidic family, a very, very prominent Hasidic family. The conference, I mean, maybe having it at LSU in Baton Rouge, maybe having it in Los Angeles, possibly trying to see if Biola would be willing to host something like that. And if not, maybe USC or Pierce College or something like that. Possibly even at Brigham Young University in Provo. We have some connection with the Jordan Peterson group. Biola's in Los Angeles. But I mean, this is all up in the air, and frankly, $5,000 is not a lot of money. But I thought I would give you guys an update. Yeah, I don't know if people have questions, if people have suggestions. Would love to hear from you. One of my rules has always been I try to spend more time off YouTube, talking to people, and Yeah, I'm not sure a more significant university would be even interested, and I'm not sure um, it would be a good idea. But anyway, um, so leave comments, if or contact me. Um, yeah, I don't know what more to say. The other possibilities are to put that money towards actually hiring somebody like Max. Max just is he finished all of his hours and he's going to become an LCSW, um, to offer. Um, yeah, these are all people who are way too big names. We're not going to be able to afford them. Um, like you're talking about, we have $5,000 now, and that's not a lot of money. Even John Vervaeke might be too big of a name. So yeah, um, yeah, probably anybody who is well known, certainly beyond YouTube, is probably going to be way too. One of the reasons we might have it in Baton Rouge is simply because Father Stephen has been incredibly gracious with his time. And if we have it in Baton Rouge, we might be able to uh, kind of snag him. Um, they are busy. I mean, it's not they're busy; they're actually busy. There is a lot of demand on their times, and frankly, this is part of the point of Fountain of Comfort, is to make something that is more accessible, reachable, etc. There are people with a lot more money do trying to do similar things. I even tried. So that singer, um, something Anthony, what was his name? Uh, Oliver Anthony. Like, he is doing something similar, and I tried contacting him, and I didn't really get a response. Um, so, I mean, this is a small thing with just our small people and my small channel. Speaking of big donors, Garth is probably I haven't crunched the numbers, but Garth is probably the one who's donated the most to Fountain of Comfort of anyone. Um, thank you very much, Garth. You are a great man and a supporter. Um, but the question becomes, okay, well, I mean, so there are people, and yes, Garth is our George Soros, with the big bucks. Um, the um, uh, the fact is, for example, there are some people that I do regular counseling of. There are people I do irregular counseling of. Um, and I haven't taken any money from Fountain of Comfort for that. Um, Frankly, I just don't feel comfortable. Um, One of the possibilities is to start some sort of peer counseling um, certification program, just helping teach people basic. That's if nothing else, I might, if Gage doesn't have the time. My hope is that Gage will be able to dedicate something like an hour a week, and we can have an hour conversation between us on various topics on mental health. Um, if Gage is not able to do that, the other option I might just start doing a weekly series on how to be just how to deal with somebody who is having some sort of crisis, basically to like very, very simple do's and don'ts in terms of recognizing when somebody is in crisis and to help them. Would you be interested in self-help types who are not accredited in psychology? Kind of yes, kind of no. Ultimately, part of the point of this is to try to support actual professionals, actual people who actually know what they're doing. Uh, there's a lot of um, um, there's a lot of pop psychology going around, and it can be incredibly harmful because people who don't know what they're doing are making here, how much do I want to piss people off? So two of the people who I would say have done the most damage in terms of just societal attitudes towards psychology are John Money, who was at Johns Hopkins and supposedly um, psychiatrist. I think he was actually an MD, and he um, is has been fundamental to the study of sex psychology, and he did incredible amounts of damage to our society in general. And the other one was likely James Dobson, who had far less from Focus on the Family, who had very good intentions, no psychological training. As far as I'm aware, he was a theologian, and he tried very hard, but and because he wasn't saying things that sounded crazy to people, I think ultimately he did um, a lot of damage, right? Um, no, diagnosis tutorials, definitely not. Do not try to diagnose people. Frankly, it's not even clear that a diagnosis is useful in most situations. It often isn't. Um, but yeah, not even sure where to go with that. But definitely not going to do something like go through the diagnostic and statistical manual. And if anything, studying the diagnostic and statistical manual has proven to be a bad idea for the vast majority of people. Big Papa Eric, you mean Father Seitz? Father Eric Seitz has a story about this yesterday. He has a story about a marriage retreat which was coordinated by a priest. And the question is, how would a priest know how to do that? Well, the priest just read all the marriage rights stuff and planned it that way. So you don't need to be a wedding retreat planner to plan a wedding retreat. Even a priest can do it. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say. Um, if there are comments, questions, etc., um, do let us know. Um, I mean, ultimately, the whole point of this was for it to be a community exercise to help our community focus on mental health at best. I mean, if nothing else, we could spend the money buying Jordan Peterson books and sending them to libraries and stuff. But um, just in general, yeah, if people um, people want to be involved. Anybody who is a practicing psychotherapist, we've had a bunch of people just graduate recently, and they're starting on their hours. And frankly, I should be finished with my classes soon and starting just working on stuff. I'm actually going to be interning in a locked ward in a few months, here locally, not far from here, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, um, I mean, I could. John Vervaeke. I asked John Vervaeke. He's gotten too big for me. I tried sending him an email. He did not respond. I'm not sure if he got it or not. Um, but even John Vervaeke, I mean, he's kind of gotten too big for my channel, which happens. I mean, I'm happy for him, but I'm not sure it's the best use of his time, really. And so, um, yeah, we're trying to be more of a resource than a drain of resources. Does the US provide financial help for an organization such as this? Some organizations such as this, yes. We are set up in a way that we could eventually apply for grants, apply for yeah, Grimm was a while ago, and frankly, I did email Vervaeke. He didn't respond, so don't know what to do beyond that. Yeah, so it is what it is. Unless people have stuff they want to say, talk about, please leave comments. If you have ideas, if you have things, and please consider. I mean, has been incredibly generous. I ask people to donate $5 a month, um, because frankly, it means a lot more to have lots of people giving $5 a month than it does to have a few people giving more money. While obviously more money is good, and I appreciate people like Garth and several other people who have been contributing regularly larger than that. What would really mean a lot is if we had a large number of people. If we had 5 people, if we had 100 people giving $5 a month, right? Then it would be a lot easier to approach foundations and government and stuff like that, asking for support, because it would show that this really is a grassroots movement, that this really is something with a community and people who are being helped. And I mean, I can tell you there are people who are being helped. There are people that I do regularly who regularly reach out to me, and I try to help as best I can. One brick at a time, exactly. By the way, RJ, you said you were possibly thinking about wanting to work in development. We could figure something out. Um, but again, my rule is I try to speak more to people offline than on these streams. I think that's important, and I try to have community working. I mean, somebody who's in Los Angeles, I think, hopefully sees that. Did you? If you did, I didn't see it, RJ. Where is RJ? Double check, my dear friend, because I don't. Let me see. RJ. There's RJ. The last thing you sent me was in. There we go. Well, yeah, you said August, so in August. So That's only a few days from now. Okay. If that's all of it, I think I am going to end the stream because Calvinism is trending on Twitter, and I have stuff I could say about that as well. Okay. Later, people.